Tone Ottilie, and I am the director and co-writer of the short film Babydyke, which is a queer coming-of-age sibling goodbye love story, finding your own identity in the queer scene story. And in this I want to talk about some of the things that I get a lot of questions about, and I want to dive specifically into one particular scene, which is the big truth or dare kitchen scene in the beginning of the film. And the first thing that I get a lot of questions about is, how did you cast this film? Because the film is inhabited by almost only queer people. I cast the film in a lot of different ways, and that's generally my feeling when you are casting non-actors, that it's a good idea to look in many different places. So I cast people in my friend group, I looked online, which is how I got in touch with Anna, who plays the main character, just in like Facebook groups for like queers and stuff. And I also mixed in a couple of people that I knew who had a little more acting experience, because that, in my experience, is a good idea to use when you're also working with non-actors. So you have some people who know a little more how to throw some balls, and some people who are just more new to it and have like a fresh energy. And when we were shooting the kitchen scene, that I think we succeeded in making like feel authentically like a part of the scene and a part of a friend group that felt real. I had invited a lot of people who were already friends and a lot of people who'd never really met each other. And I think that was really important for me when we got on set, was to establish, and I think this is a really important point when you're working with non-actors, that they were not playing themselves, they were not portraying themselves, they were playing characters. And I think that's important when you're working with especially minorities. Even if you are that yourself, don't come at them like, now represent a queer person's, like, no, come at them with like a character, a motive, a backstory, a new name, so they can play and feel free and not like they're trying to represent themselves. And so we did that, and we all had like a little pronoun round and talked about how it was going. And then I did have the whole scene scripted, but I also used a lot of improvisation. And that's also why I want to talk about this scene, because I think we did a really interesting mix of improvisation and scripted dialogue. Because what I did was that I basically broke the scene up into some parts, because they were non-actors, they couldn't remember all the stuff. And then I had them I told them, here's some dialogue that I want you to hit. I want you to say this and that at some point, but you can improvise all around it. So we had so much improvised material leading up to it and after it. And we ended up using a lot of that stuff in the editing. So we just did some really long takes where some of it was not in the script and some of it was in the script. And then we basically constructed the whole thing in the editing. And I think that kind of gives it a very free flowing vibe, even though we are like, technically most of it was like, that ended up in the scene was from the script. Other advice on working with first time actors or non-actors, whatever you like to call them, is like, really make it a safe space. Don't have like a first AD standing there like, oh, we gotta go. Like, we wanted for this team to make sure we had enough time and everyone felt good. Make sure that you distance them from the characters, because for example, the friend group in the film is quite toxic and there's some really bad vibes going on, and no one wanted to feel like that was who they were. Like, no, that's on me, that's the story that I'm telling as a director. And the last thing I want to say is, go with your gut. Like, when I found Anna, she was quite shy and there wasn't a lot of stuff going on when we were filming her, and then like leading up to it and in the preparation we did a lot of improvisation, we did a lot of character work, and she just really opened up, and I think she's absolutely amazing, and we just did our second film together. So yeah, go with your gut, and if you can tell someone's interesting, they're probably gonna be cool on camera. I've been filmmaking in different ways most of my life. School-wise, I've gone to the National Film School of Denmark, where I'm almost finished, and Station Next. But I really learned from people around me, and I think a really good advice that I got when I was learning filmmaking, and I'm still learning, is that you should always dare to be personal and like expose your own flaws.